Okay, so welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be doing my market analysis for the week coming up. Today is June 14th, I believe. So this is going to be my bias for the entire week using the COT report and also valuation to look at the indices. Before I get started, as a reminder, once again, everything that is published on my channel is for informational or entertainment purposes only. If you need help with your investments, make sure that you consult your financial advisor. And with that out of the way, let's get started. So we're going to be looking at the currencies, the metals, energies, indices, and also crypto for this week. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. Last week, I did say that my bias for the US dollar is short. I am still short. You can see the commercials here. So this is basically the smart money, this blue line. Okay, so they are selling and they're building short positions. The red line that you see here are the retail traders. Generally, you want to take the opposite of the retail traders because they're usually wrong. If we draw a line here, I'm going to do a horizontal line. We can actually see the behavior of the market in the past. You know, what happened when the retail traders were very bullish. So we take a look at, for example, where it kind of peaked over here. I'm just going to draw vertical lines roughly where it peaked. Okay, and just to kind of get an idea of how the market reacted at these levels. So if we take a look at this level here, you can see that the US dollar dropped. Again, over here, it dropped. Over here, it dropped as well. And over here, it did drop. And right now, we are actually extending slightly beyond it. Okay, so I am bearish on the US dollar, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be selling it straight away. What I actually want is for us to close below the 20-day moving average. And we did gap. Okay, so the market has just opened up. Let's see. The only thing is I don't see a wick. So usually when it comes to a candle, I tend to prefer to wait because usually there is a wick first and then it moves in the intended direction. However, we are not seeing that right now. And I would actually prefer to wait to see the 20-day moving average kind of turn around, kind of like that. Okay, so because we don't have that just yet, I'm going to give it a couple more days, just to let the market kind of settle, and we'll see, what happens from there. So I am very bearish right now on the US dollar. So let me just go back to the weekly here. I'm just going to remove those drawings. And you can see the euro, they're starting to build their long positions on the euro. And if you go to the daily, you'll notice that we are actually above the 20-day moving average. If you go back to my previous market analysis the week before, I was waiting for this to happen, but I also want to see, this 20-day moving average to kind of slope up. We haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm going to give it a couple more days, but this is going to be a pretty big move, I think, on the euro. Okay, so you can actually see what's happening here. So you see how it created the wick? This is what I'm expecting to see. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we pull all the way back down here and then we go up. Okay, so yeah, definitely bearish on the US dollar, which means all the majors, so the British pound, the euro, Swiss franc, Japanese yen, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, all of these I'm going to be bullish on. Okay, and you can actually see it in the COT. So if you go back to my previous market analysis, okay, so you can see here the euro, they are busy buying. The British pound has now actually turned up. Look at this. We're at an extreme. This is telling me that they're building long positions, the smart money. Okay, Swiss franc, look at this. Japanese yen as well. Canadian dollar actually shot up a lot. If you go back to the previous weekend, when I did my analysis, you can see the difference. I think we were down here somewhere. Now they are starting to build their long positions here. Australian dollar has moved up a lot. Take a look at that. And the New Zealand, not quite there yet, but I expect the New Zealand dollar to, the commercials to move up to this line, maybe even beyond it. And then we're going to start to see that move up. Okay, so I'm going to give it a couple more days, maybe even possibly a week. We'll see how things go. So that is my analysis of the currencies. Let's move on to the metals. We're going to take a look at gold here. So hold on a second. Let me just remove. Yeah, I didn't really need that. Okay, so gold, the commercials are very extreme here. Okay, so they are buying, and you can already see the week has already started in the green. I don't know. Oh, we actually do have a wick here. Yeah, this thing is going to start pushing up. We've already started to gap. So you see this? We're already starting to react. This is the smart money basically building their long positions, but I'm not going to be buying yet because I do want it to close above this 20-day moving average and for this to start sloping up. Okay, so the thing with the COT, even though it does lag by a week because they only publish the report every week at the end of the week, even though they do that, it does take a while to turn the market. I think traders need to kind of understand that. With smart money, it can take weeks or months before things turn around. That's one thing I learned about COT. Okay, so silver, hold on, I can't use that indicator. I have to use another one. Let's just throw this on here. So silver is actually bearish. I guess you could look for a short position on this. Let's just zoom in here. Because we do have a drop-based drop formation if you trade supply and demand. But I would be watching this level over here. Oh, hold on. Okay, so this level over here, this is on the futures market. If you're trading Forex, so let's see if I can load up my Forex chart here, which would be this one. Okay. It's basically the same formation, but I use the futures market because the prices are more accurate. But I wouldn't be surprised with silver if it ends up doing this. Okay, so we may see a move like that on silver. That is a CFD. And then, of course, the same thing with the futures. Okay, so I am bearish on silver, bullish on gold, but I wouldn't be buying just yet because I do want to see it, gold close above the 20-day moving average, which we haven't got there yet, but I'm expecting that to happen in the coming weeks. Okay, so we have that. Platinum is very interesting here because notice what's happening here. Let me just close this one here. Notice how we have now moved to an extreme. So this tells me that platinum, I should be looking for buys, but we are not above the 20-day moving average yet, and I do want to see it slope up. So not yet on that. Copper, we are bearish. And let's see. Ooh, this is a very good short here. Okay, so yeah, I might end up actually taking this trade on this paper trade account because we do have a formation here. Hold on, let's see if we can do this. Okay, so we do have a drop-based drop formation. So this entire zone here has basically sell orders. Okay, and if I go to the 4-hour, I can see that they're actually up here. Okay, so we have a rally base drop. So if I were to basically sell, what is this, copper? I would do this. Let's just move this up here. Okay, I'm just going to do we'll do like 1 unit. Wait, hold on a second. Let's just do this first. Because I want to see how much this is. 2,000. Yeah, we'll do 1 unit. And we will sell. Because I want to see what happens with this trade here. Okay, so I'm expecting this to go down. It did gap up into this, level here, which has all the orders to sell. So I'm actually in the profit already. You can see here, $50. Okay. Okay, so let me just put this down here. This is basically how I do my analysis. Some were wondering, okay. We're looking at crude oil now. We were extremely low. Okay, so we were selling off and we actually still see that. I'm only bullish on oil once it gets to the screen and once we start closing above the 20-day moving average. we're actually below it here. So I'm very bearish on oil, and I expect oil to potentially drop. Although I'm not sure about this gap. I'm not sure if it's going to fill it. I know one thing with the futures market, it doesn't like gaps, so it tends to fill it. But based on what I'm seeing here, it may actually continue to drop. Okay, but I am bearish on crude oil. Okay, so what about natural gas? Because I was bullish on natural gas. I am still bullish. Okay, you look at this. Okay, so this tells me that the smart money is buying natural gas, and we are kind of above. We were above. We kind of gapped down. Let's see if I can try to find. Yep. Okay. You know what? I might actually just put a trade. Oh, actually, hold on. That's kind of close. We might actually drop again down to this zone here. Let me just turn that off. Okay, so we have a gap. You can see it's kind of moving up here, but I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of did this. But I am bullish on natural gas. Okay, so that is natural gas. Let me just remove that. And you can see here, we're kind of hovering, but if you look at the slope of the 20-day moving average, it is pointed up. Okay, so I am bullish on natural gas. So that is the currencies, the metals, energies. We still have the indices, which I know a lot of you guys trade, me included, NASDAQ. Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, we're going to look at actually YM, which is the Dow Jones. So for this one, I need to use valuation first. So let's just go to my valuation. And we are on the daily. We are coming from undervalued. So this is actually going to go up, I think. If you look at the Dow Jones, we are sloping up here as well. 20-day moving average, definitely bullish for the Dow Jones for the entire week. The NASDAQ as well, very undervalued. If you go back to my previous analysis of the indices, NASDAQ included, last week, I did kind of point out these extreme levels. You see the NASDAQ go up. So if you look at over here, okay, so if you look at this, and I start marking out when we were undervalued, notice how we made a rally for at least a couple of days. This is going to be probably the entire week, guys. I mean, it may drop down to fill the gap, but it's going to be most likely up by the end of the week. So if you look at this, what's happening over here, we're more likely to go up this entire week. So I am very bullish on the NASDAQ. For this week, S&P, you can see here as well. You look at the lows, we rallied. And we have the exact same thing right now on the S&P 500 or ES. The Russell as well. Look at this. Okay, let's see what else. So we also have Bitcoin. Let me just go back here. We're going to do Bitcoin very quickly. Let's see, COT index. And what is Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin, I'm still bearish on Bitcoin. Okay, so if you look at this, I'm still bearish. I'm just looking to see what happened here. Yeah, I'm still bearish. Okay, so Bitcoin, I'm bearish, which means Ethereum, I'm bearish too, and you're probably going to see it here too. Yep. Okay, so bearish on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we are below the 20-day moving average, or average rather. Okay, so that's going to be my market analysis, guys. I'm going to keep it very short here. That is my market analysis for this week coming up. And it covers the currencies, let's see, metals, energies, indices, and also crypto. Okay, and what I'm also hoping to do this week, to do a video on how do you determine like market structure or direction. I'm going to do a very quick video on that for the beginners out there. And yeah, make sure you stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. And with that said, I guess until the next video, I'll catch you guys later.